The moment you realize nobody is coming to save you, that's when you finally save yourself. Trust breaks faster than it builds, and that lesson stings the most. The people you'd take a bullet for are often the ones holding the gun. Life teaches you that not everyone who smiles at you is a friend. Rock bottom introduces you to the strongest version of yourself. Sometimes silence is louder than words, and it hurts more too. The hardest lesson is learning you can love someone and still need to let them go. Growth feels less like a reward and more like shedding your old skin. Not everyone clapping for you wants you to win. Time heals, but it also reveals who truly cared. One of the hardest lessons is realizing effort doesn't always equal outcome. You'll never know how heavy fake love is until you put it down. Patience isn't waiting. It's suffering quietly until the storm passes. The people you outgrow will resent the new you. The truth doesn't hurt. It shatters illusions you built for comfort. Life doesn't warn you when it's about to change forever. You think you have time until time shows you otherwise. Strength doesn't come from lifting weights. It comes from carrying heartbreak. Peace feels strange at first when you're used to chaos. Some lessons come dressed as losses, but they're really blessings in disguise. You won't realize the value of health until sickness steals your energy. The person who taught you love might also teach you pain. Life hits hardest when you confuse temporary people with permanent ones. Gratitude feels heavier once you've had something and lost it. The hardest goodbye is the one you never saw coming. You don't know loneliness until you're surrounded by people and still feel alone. What you ignore now will cost you later. Pride has destroyed more relationships than honesty ever did. Success tastes bitter when you have no one to share it with. The longer you hold on, the harder it is to let go. Forgiveness isn't for them. It's the freedom you didn't know you needed. Money doesn't change people. It exposes who they've been all along. You won't know the price of peace until you leave behind people you love. Failure doesn't end you, but the fear of it can. Happiness isn't found. It's built from the rubble of disappointments. Sometimes the ones who raised you also broke you. Life's cruelest lesson: effort doesn't guarantee loyalty. You'll never be fully ready. Life begins when you step in unprepared. Love won't fix brokenness, it only magnifies the cracks. You don't appreciate normal days until chaos takes them away. Pain becomes wisdom only when you stop running from it. The world won't reward your potential, only your persistence. Comfort zones feel safe until you realize they're cages. One day, your memories will hurt more than your scars. You learn more from betrayal than from loyalty. The hardest lesson isn't losing, it's losing yourself while chasing others. Life doesn't get easier, you just get harder to break. The day you stop chasing people is the day you finally meet yourself. Closure doesn't come from them. It comes from you deciding to move on. The friends who disappear when you struggle were never friends at all. The apology you never got is still the one that sets you free. One of life's harshest truths, not everyone you lose is a loss. You won't value peace until drama becomes exhausting. You learn who matters when everything falls apart. The hardest mask to take off is the one you wore to survive. One-sided love teaches the loudest silence. The person who hurt you most often taught you what love is not. The scariest prison is the one built from your own doubts. You don't notice toxic until you breathe fresh air. The love you begged for feels cheap once you find self-respect. Life's cruelest teacher is regret. It shows up after the lesson is over. Not all storms ruin you. Some wash away what you didn't need. You never know how much strength you have until you're left with no choice. Respect feels different once you stop accepting bare minimums. The day you stop explaining yourself is the day you start living. Sometimes the family you're born into is the first test you must pass. You never see manipulation clearly until you're on the outside. The scariest truth: love and pain often live in the same house. You learn to appreciate boring once life shows you chaos. The day you stop waiting for them to change is the day you change. You'll never notice fake friends until your life stops benefiting them. The person who saves you might not be who you expected. It might be you. Sometimes the only way forward is walking away. Love won't feel like home until you build it within yourself. The harshest lesson: not everyone wants to be saved. Happiness doesn't come from addition, it comes from subtraction. Life will test you until you finally learn the lesson you kept ignoring. You'll never be the same after heartbreak, and that's the point. Some lessons arrive as heartbreak. Others arrive as blessings in disguise. People change when it hurts too much to stay the same. The people you defend blindly often stab you in the dark. Letting go doesn't hurt as much as holding on too long. You'll realize too late that time was the real currency. Pain forces you to grow in ways comfort never could. You'll know you've healed when their name doesn't control your mood. Life is cruel enough to teach you, even forever has an expiration date. Sometimes the lesson isn't about others, it's about why you stayed. You realize your worth the day you stop discounting yourself. Grief is just love with nowhere to go. The world won't clap for your struggles, it only notices your success. The pain of discipline weighs ounces, but the pain of regret weighs tons. You don't realize freedom until you cut ties with your own excuses. The people who hurt you worst still sleep peacefully at night, so why shouldn't you? The cruelest part of healing is realizing the old you had to die. You'll understand sacrifice when you have to choose between comfort and growth. The ones who preach loyalty are often the first to betray it. Life teaches you patience by making you wait for everything that matters. Sometimes the closure you want is just learning to accept silence. The ones who don't clap for you are the ones waiting for you to fail. Growth feels lonely because you can't take everyone with you. People show their true colors when they think you can't leave. You don't outgrow people, you outgrow the version of yourself who needed them. The scariest lesson: not all love is meant to last. The ones who love you least often teach you the most. Some of your darkest nights will make your brightest mornings possible. Life teaches humility when it strips away everything you thought mattered. You'll know strength once life stops asking and starts demanding it. Sometimes the hardest part of moving on is forgiving yourself for staying. You don't know betrayal until it comes from someone you trusted blindly. Life doesn't punish you with pain, it teaches you with it. The scars you hide are often the ones that shape you most. What you fear losing is often what's holding you back. One of the hardest truths: you can't fix people who don't want to change. You don't learn the value of trust until it's broken. The strongest people are often the ones who had no one to lean on. What hurts now will someday make sense, but not when you want it to. You learn self-love when you stop begging for crumbs. People respect boundaries they can't cross. Set them anyway. The hardest part of growth is watching who doesn't clap for you. Love without respect is just a slow form of destruction. Happiness costs less than pretending you're happy. Some wounds never close, you just learn to live around them. The cruelest lie is the one you tell yourself. Pain is the tax you pay for becoming wiser. You'll never value rest until exhaustion becomes your normal. Some lessons burn because they were meant to leave scars. Life won't warn you before it changes forever. The worst heartbreak comes from expectations, not reality. People leave, but the lessons stay. You can't outrun pain. You can only outgrow it. What you thought broke you was really shaping you. Loneliness teaches you how to enjoy your own company. Success feels empty when you lose yourself to achieve it. You'll never notice your strength until being strong is your only option. Sometimes the hardest goodbye is to your old self. Life teaches you to be your own hero because nobody else is coming. The ones you sacrifice for will rarely sacrifice for you. The same people who doubted you will ask how you did it. Pain doesn't leave quietly. It drags you through lessons first. One of the heaviest burdens, pretending you're okay.